Okay, good afternoon once again. I had to say good afternoon for the benefit of online students now because we were muted. You can't see me. Don't bother about this. Let's go, guys. Don't bother about this thing. Let's just go. First thing I wanted to say to you was that when we did the class on Tableau, you remember we had to use an Excel file, or we used two Excel files for that class. Huh? The real world analysis is not like that, because you can sit in this Abuja and you'll be working for a client who is somewhere in Port Harcourt or even outside this country. And then all they need to do to you is to give you access to their system, to their server. So they give you an access to their server. Now, let me tell you one thing you need to remember. They don't give you access to your server, particularly if you're an outsider. If they're just contracting you for a task. Are you guys still here? You look absent. So don't go too far. Stay with me in class. There are police outside, they might catch you. Okay, so what they give to you is called a view. Does that make sense? So what they do is they kind of pull data and then throw a view of the data for you, the view they want you to analyze. Hello? Does that make sense? Because if they give you access to everything and you're an outsider, you could actually rubbish them. Do you understand? So they give you a view they want you to work on. Now, how do you create views from a structured database? Now, there are two kinds of data. You have what you call a structured data, and you have what you call an unstructured data. Have you guys been around that topic? All right, cool. So my work is easy. Unstructured data are pretty much what you see, like text files, video files. They are really unstructured. Yeah. But you see structured data, when you put data in table, in rows and column, very structured. Good. Now, when you put data in rows and column, I'm just giving background knowledge. Does that make sense? There is what you call normalization of data. You can read that at your own time. It's not part of the curriculum, but I just need to share to you because it's the world you're coming into. It's what you call normalization of data, but that work is actually most times done by what they call the data engineer. It's not the analyst work. Yeah, but when you finish analyst, you might want to step up and also learn engineering because you want to grow in the career. You don't want to sit in one place. Yeah. So the data engineer's work is to do what you call, and it's not all the time you do normalization of data. There are use cases for normalization and there are use cases for not normalizing. Do you have ink or pen, marker? I can write on the board. No marker. Okay, apologies. My mom is a teacher, so I've been teaching for all my years, all my life. So I will act like a real teacher. Okay, I can write here too. You have what you call one NF, you have two NF, you have three NF, you have four NF. I will tell you why I'm teaching all this. This is called normalization. So one NF is one nationalization factor, something. Two. There are different steps of normalization. This is the highest. Now, why am I saying this? It's not all the time. So when you come into analyzing data, you need to understand what level of normalization does this data have? Hello? Good. Now let me share something with you. So I'm going to dust this. I'm not going to talk about this again. But remember, I said this to you. And when you have time, at your own free time, go read about 1, 2, 3, 4, NF. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. Can we reduce the movement around? So that, we don't have a lot of time, so let's keep it simple. Now, a database contains tables and rows. Tables, rows, and columns. Let me explain what I'm saying. Let's say we are a supermarket, like we have the superstore data. All of you touch your hand on that data set, Abi. Now, for the superstore, they have what they call the order data. The next thing they also had was returns. Are we there? The third was what? People, yes. Thank you. People. Okay. Now, this order, there was a unique identifier there called what? Who remembers? Order ID. This is unique. No two orders can have the same ID. Now, when it came to this, the way this table relates with this table was the fact that some of these orders were returned. So you now have inside this return, you also have what order ID. Now, in these orders, there was something like region. North, east, north, south. Where did they buy the product from? You guys are looking at that. I'm just here alone. I used to like the encouragement, so I'm a shy girl. So there was region here. Don't worry, everything I'm saying now, you understand it when I start talking. So just stay with me on it. There was region here, and when it came to people, we also had people name or people ID, I can't remember, people name or person name, and we had what? Region here. So they type region to a particular person, like a northern region, the northern region protectorate, the northern region governor, southern region governor. Does that make sense to you, what I'm trying to say? Does it make sense? All right, cool. Now, and I said to you guys that you want to really analyze orders, you have to actually do it with this in mind. Remember that conversation, with returns in mind. Okay, now that you understand it, I want to take you to somewhere. Here we have order ID, and I said that was unique. And when it's unique, what do we call it on the table? You guys been around that topic? The unique identifier on every table is called the what? Order ID. Not, this is because we're in the order table. In order, like in a school table, it would be student ID. In some other areas, in a telephone company with telephone numbers. But when it is a unique field, the unique field in a table is called a primary key, PK. Are we there? Primary key. I don't want you to be lost. Just stay with me. It's simple. Everything today is simple. And I promise you it's simple. Nothing is complicated today at all. Now, you know that in returns, we can as well have something like a return ID depending on how the company is set up. But inside that return ID, there will be what order ID. Are we together now? Yes. Let me tell you why it can happen like that. We don't have a return policy in Nigeria, yes. But in some countries where there are return policies, you know you can return something more than 3 times. I get what I'm saying, Abi? So you can have return 1, return 2, same item. So for this one is still there because for each return it's still the same order ID. So this one is called an FK, foreign key. Because it's foreign to this table, but necessary for that table. It's unique to this table, but foreign to this table, but necessary for that table. However, return key is unique to this table. Yeah, so that becomes your what? PK. What am I saying? All of these, 1, 2, 3, are part of one database. Does that make sense now? So a database is made up of many tables is made up of what? Rows and what? Now, a database are made of many tables, and these many tables are relayed. Did you see the relationship across? Yes, sir. Perfect. Now let's start work. What's that? They can't see the board. The people online. I can't match or complain that. I know I thought I said this thing might be problem. Okay. Our online students can't see the board. You know, I saw this thing coming. Yeah. And I think we have a good number of people online. And I saw it. That's why I was asking you guys, let's go online. People don't want to hear me. Oh yeah? Go back. Put the recording. I wish you are recording me so that you can send the full record. Because this record you are sending now will still not do the job. It's okay. We can't solve everybody's problem. We'll solve one. And we'll deal with the rest later. Okay, now this is where we are going now. Now, there are different kinds of database management systems. Like we have many universities, Abi, but we have University of Agriculture. You have the ones of tech. You have the ones of maybe healthcare or something. They are specialized in different areas. The same way also, we have many database management systems. So we have the most common one is the one we installed, MySQL. You know why? It's open source. I know what I mean open source, free to. You have my SQL server by Microsoft. They don't used to give anything free, so it's not free. You also have Oracle. Those are the three biggest and most common relational database. There are other types of database, but you see these databases that have structure, like this one, divided to tables and are connected, and they are called RDBMS. These are the king of these guys are the kings of structured data. There are other kinds of data management systems, but if it means structured data, these are the guys that handle it. Are we together? Yes, sir. Perfect. Now, having said that, we're going to niche ourselves to what? MySQL. However, the knowledge from MySQL is transferable to many other RDBMS. Now, the language we're going to learn is called SQL. Some folks call it SQL, from the word SE. Don't let them bamboozle you. If they call it SQL, you think that they are foreign. It's not. It's just that they want to just sound like they know something. It's the same thing. This used to be the old name, but this is the more recent name. This SQL means standard English query something. Yeah, you can do all those things. The more recent name is SQL, and it means structured query language. Structured. And I think it's the easiest programming language in the world. It's just straightforward. It's English. So you are not going to struggle with anything. Once you understand simple logics, you have SQL in your fingers. Just that you might have to think, when it comes to complicated tasks, you might have to think a bit to create them. But it's simple. All right, let's go. Okay, can I move back to my screen? Can I move back to my screen? Yes. Perfect. Okay. Now, if you look at my screen, that's my system. Yours may not look exactly like my own. But if you look at my system and you have this schema on yours, are we together? That schema on the left-hand side kind of manages all the database that you are currently working on. Does that make sense? All. It's not done your own. What does your own have? Just say what it has. Management, instant, and performance. Okay, I've been asked to stand here so that my voice can enter system. So you might have to bring it for me to see. So that my voice will not leave. Perfect. Okay, you might have this kind of thing. Now, if you look at here, you will see all the database that I'm currently at work with. You have the SQL store, you have SQL invoicing, you have Word, you have, again, these are just the things I'm currently working with. Does that make sense? On your own, you might just have only one of S, might have SYS. I don't know what you have on your own, SYS, yeah. Don't worry, it will have, if you check, you will find. But I'm sure it's there somewhere. Don't worry, I'll show you everybody at home. Now, SYS is a system database. So we're not going to bother. That's the database that MySQL runs on. So don't worry about it. Are we together now? Good. Now we're going to bring in a database we're going to use to work. Are we together? Can we reduce the movement? Now, we're going to bring in a database that all of us will use to work. Now, you remember I said to you that your work, primarily as an analyst, is not to put in data. It's to analyze for them. So we're going to start from where your work starts from. Maybe when we are at the end of the class, if we have time on the last class, I will show you a bit of the work of another person. But for today and the next class, I'll show you, I'll stay with your work. So you're going to go to this place. You see here? This place. Is there negative there? Look at this. You have SQL Plus and you have like a folder opening under it. The second icon here. Here. See my finger. No. See my finger. See my finger. Oh. Okay. Can you see it? Good. Now, you're going to open that place. Click on it. It's going to pull you. It's going to ask you to open to pick up a file. You remember there is a file I asked you guys to download this morning. Look for where you downloaded that file and then go and pick it up. See it here. Create database. Are we together? And then just say open. It opens up. Basically, what are we doing? We're just trying to create a dummy database for us to analyze. So it is not part of our real big problem for today. It's just a dummy stuff that we want to just use to work. Your work starts as an analyst, not as a database manager. Are we together? Yes, sir. Ready? Yes. Everybody is fine? Yes, sir. If you are not fine, you are wrong. Now you see this button here? This one. See where my mouse pointer is pointed to? Yeah. That's where you use to run SQL code to test if your code is correct. Are you good? Yes, sir. Why are you not good, sir? Your own is not active. The problem is did you open it from here or did you just double click on the file and it came to your system? From your point. I opened it from there. Let me check one. There is an installation problem on that your system, if I'm not wrong, which is the same thing here. So can you just follow this class for today and then we solve the installation problem now? But I need to uninstall and then install from the beginning. Yeah, but this is for those who I believe 80% of you should be okay. Because I saw Udo, your own, I knew that the problem was that you created it wrongly. I think you know, it's the same problem he has, I could tell. I thought it was the same problem, but here there's an installation problem now. Should we go ahead? Should we go ahead? I should stop, I should drive on. I've gone, no? I've gone. Now, if you click on this button, just click on the button here where my mouse is. You are going to create a dummy database that we will use for work. Are you okay with that? Once you're done with that, you can just close it. All right. All right, are you good? If you close it, check on your left-hand side. Can you see the database here, SQL store? If you don't see it, you have issues. Okay. Some people are sleeping in the class. Please come to class, come to class. You guys came here and slept. You leave me to stay at home. Huh? Then they should not sleep elsewhere now. It's wrong. Are we okay? Then why do you come to distract us? Like that one at the back. I'm sure it's not for us. You're not in our class. You're just coming to distract us. You guys should go somewhere else and stop distracting us. Go somewhere else, please. Call out to leave the class. Go somewhere else. Are we okay? Please go somewhere else and sit. You don't come onto another person and distract us. It's wrong. All right, can we go ahead? Okay, can you see the database here? If you can't see it, come to this place and just refresh. Here, just refresh. You should see it here. Now, what that means is that database exists and you have access to work with it. Does that make sense? Okay, in our subsequent class, I will teach you, maybe the last class really. I'll just show you how I can log on straight to a system online using Tableau to pick up file and analyze. Does that make sense? Yeah, so that you see how these things work. Okay. Back to work. Ready to go? Now, for me now, I have a couple of databases on my view. If you want to, the simple way to activate a database, very simple. Just come and click on that database like this. And that one is active. Just click on the one you want. Simple. Are you there? But if you want to look like you are trendy, you start doing use. You feel like you should give yourself work. Let me even use Sakila so that because I've been on SQL store. So use Sakila and then you just press enter. Then you run the code. The active database now. Sorry, that's wrong. I use SQL Sakila. Sorry. Now use Sakila, run the code. Now, did you notice? Immediately that code ran, this became active. Sakila became active. It shows black. I don't know if they're seeing what I'm saying. I'll try somewhere and observe. So I'm going to go back to SQL Store now, and I'll just press the run button. Have you noticed that something has been, it has highlighted SQL Store, meaning ready to go? Does that make sense? Instead of wasting all that time, I will just come here and just click here, and it's ready to go. It's up to you. Don't forget, it's up to you. Now, you want to work with a database, but you don't even know what is contained there because you want to analyze the data. You should have an idea of what is happening here, really. You see this I button, information. You could just tap on it. Are we together? You see it? Now, if you tap on it, it gives you some bits and pieces. I won't go into all of this, but I'll go into the table side of things. So this database has this table, that table, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 tables are contained in that database. You got it? Seven. If you can count better than me, right? No, I'm not trying to be right. I'm just trying to count. So you're right. It's 7. I think you're right. So that's exactly what is there. So now it's now us that will start doing what, finding out what and what is inside there. So can we go and start the work? All right, now, the very first thing we're going to go and start, so you can go back to the query 1. Now, when you are query 1, if you're writing many queries and you don't want to mix things up, after each query, just put a semicolon. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Yeah, and what you can do is the query you want to run, you just select it like this, and then you press the word run button. Yeah? So because I want to use this to do a lot of things, I'm going to I use a semicolon. But if it's just one query, you don't need semicolon. Make sense? See, these are if you're going for an interview, these simple things I'm just saying now are the things they'll be using to stroke you. Did you use semicolon in SQL? And you'll be like, yes. But really, you only use it when there are many queries to separate the ideas. Does that make sense? Yeah. Good. Now, the next thing that we're going to do today is we want to see the customer database. So we'll be working primarily today on the select command. There are a few commands. You have the select, you have the delete. So let's write it down. You have select, you have delete, you have create. Write them down. Select, create, delete, update. What did I miss? Select, create, update, delete. Did I miss anyone? I missed update. I said select. We have select. You have delete. You have update. And you have what again? Insert. Draw. This is a bigger one. I am going to table level. I'm going to table level now. Truncate. They are going to be ones. Just look at the basic crude mentality, the crude one. Create, read, update, delete. Stay with the basic ones first, so that you don't stress. Stay with what they call the crude. Create, read, update, delete. Basic. Before we go to any one big. Stay with the first 3. The first 4. Create, read, update, delete. Crude. The crude theory. Where are you? Next. Students will cost me today. All right, good. So we're going to start with the first one, which is the read, which is select. In SQL, the read from the CRUD is called select. So let's say our first task is to try to understand everything that there is in a particular table. We'll start first table level before going to database level. So first, simple one, very simple. Select from the table we're playing with is called customers. Put your column. Easy. Abi? Easy, simple, cheap, straightforward. Nothing complicated. You run it. You can highlight it, run it. What does this do? What does this do? Everything, everything. You see all the fields. You see that asterisk? It's all the fields, field one, all the fields that ever is in customers. It pulls them out and gives them to you and say, take home. And it also pulls out all the entire data. So if you look, you will see, you can scroll down and check how many data. We can scroll down, see how many. There are 10 of them. Make sense? There you go. Simple, straightforward, no trouble, no quarrel. Okay. Now, a bit of nomenclature. SQL is not case sensitive. So even if I wrote this thing as small letter, and then I tap this, I will still get outcome. But when you are dealing with, working in the profession, there are things that you are expected to know. Like, you know that it's not bad. If I see you in the morning, I don't greet you, there's no problem. Abi? You know, Abi? The law will not beat me. There is no law I must greet. Abi, is there one second? There is no law. Is there any law I must greet you? No, there is no law. But it's courtesy to see someone and say hello. Abi? So we have those courtesies too in the profession that says that SQL code, like functions, should be. Does that make sense? Okay. Having said that, I'm going to go back and do what courtesy demands of me. Now, first step. Next step is, any problem? You know, you, Ajay, yes. Yeah. Yes. Okay, while Udo is helping us to set, please, go ahead. No, I don't want to answer that. You know, I don't want to answer. Okay, you know why I cannot answer them? They've not been following us. Okay, you see, I said something. Please don't forget. Don't mix these things up. Stay with me for time. You won't have any challenge. Before we went into doing this, we had to first activate the database we are talking to. You remember? So if you check your own, the database you have activated is not the one we are using. We are actually using SQL stuff. Oh yeah, let's see. We're using are using SQL store. Now, again, for those who want to, since you don't say it's not working, it's not working. Okay, please. I don't need help. You don't need help. You need God. What is the problem? Say the problem first.
I can see all of the data that I netted but as three from the three of them, then one degree is red.
Did you get the outcome that we're looking for first? No. You did not get it. You've not followed us. We need a fintech, someone that can be collecting money for us. I can't even use you. Okay, bring your system this way so that we. Please, I want to say, you see, I have to share myself between here and here. So I want to say, class, please support me more. The guys on the other end they don't see what I'm saying. They just hear the voice. If you just, I'll say it for everybody to hear now. Now, I'm back. Please stay with me. You see, the same thing they are bringing, what we've already talked about. That's why you need to charge your money. You look like an honest man. But we need talk careless. You must tell us who you want to talk to. You should call their name before you talk to them. Okay, let me just say now, bring me a glass of water. Who is going to go? Nobody. So, first thing we did was we said use. Please don't be distracted. We said use SQL store. Meaning SQL store is the guy we want to talk to. We said if you don't want to go that route, just go and click SQL store and it will be what? Active. Remember, now it is active. Can you see it's active? Then you can now talk to SQL store. The first thing, guys, you'll be gisting here when I'm talking. The next minute you ask questions I will not answer again. The next thing we said was we want to see everything as there is on that particular SQL store, that there are different tables on SQL store. How do we see all the tables in SQL store? I said if you go to information here, information, click on it. And then from there go to what? Tables. It's going to give you a very good idea of all the tables that there is. Are you there? Now, if you want to even see the columns, you just go here and you see that it's very clean and clear. For the customer table, you have the customer ID. You see all the columns you have for the columns for the customer table. And same thing, you can check for the other item, everything is simple, it's clear. Now, having established that, we want to start our journey to explore the customer table. Then we said, come to your query place and then use the first one was what? The read instruction, which is select asterisk from customer. Asterisk means everything there is in customer. Pull it for us to to C. Make sense? And I said to you that this query environment, normally you don't even need to use semicolon. But when you are going to be using many instructions, put semicolon to separate them. But at the end of the day, when you want to run it, select the one you want to run. And then what? Run it. Did I miss anything?
No.
Perfect. Now let's go back to where we have SQL store. Let's go to columns. There is a column there called first name, and there is a column there called what? Last name. Let us say that we are a bit biased and we want to go, because particularly when you are pulling data across a network, and you see, working for a company, imagine working for a bank. Guys, the movement doesn't help me. We have an hour, 30 minutes. We've walked around for 30 minutes. Ask questions for 30 minutes. 30 minutes for me to talk. After that, we close the shop. We close church. I'll collect my offering and I'll go. Sorry, but when you come late, you are disturbing us. So if you wait outside or you sit down. Please, let's make it calm so that we can even explain ourselves. Are we okay? Yes. Now let's go to the next step. Select. There are times when you are pulling data from a network. Let's say you are working for a bank, for example. You know, for example, each and every one of you filled bank forms before, Abi. Imagine that you want to analyze the data for a bank, and the bank will now say select asterisk from customer. They will pull all the data transacted and give to you. That's a lot. The network self will serve. Sometimes you need to drill into particular things you want to select. Are you there with me? So in that case, you will go with first underscore name, last name. You are going for the exact things you are looking for. Last name, last underscore name. If it's correct, you would see. Are you there? And then I'm going to select, that's the one I want to deal with, and I'm going to say send. Did you notice the outcome? It brought out only first and last name. Okay? Now, should we go? Yes. Again, speaking of nomenclatures of doing things so that you make your work neater and easier, I could break this down from here to this. Are we there? Okay, I'm going to go back because I really want to see what I want to play with, and then go back with the asterisks. And then let's play with one more thing. I have a slide, I'll give it to you guys, but I'll follow my notebook. Okay, so the next thing we're going to be looking at is where. Where, what should we look for where now? Let's say where city is, should we try something? Let's say where point, you see point? Points is greater than 2000. Are you there? So again, this is what you're trying to pull. Imagine you were pulling the data from a bank and you wanted to analyze for a period. Maybe there was a fraud that happened in that bank between July the 1st to July the 30th. You see, that's what you call a condition. The where gives you a condition. Not just everything again. Let's tie it to a condition. So you go with select. Now look at the point. Is there any point there below 2000? So do you understand how the where works? Do you? It's easy, Abi. Don't worry, SQL is easy. It's not complicated at all. It's just when you're going for complicated queries, but if you sit down and think a bit, SQL is straightforward. Okay, let's try one more thing before we leave this place. So let's say that, you see, I'm going to activate SQL invoicing. Huh? It means we're no longer in SQL store. Now, because there are times when you are not just pulling from one database. You can be pulling from more than one database. Hello? So you cannot just say, okay, I activated one, I'm using that one. It won't work. Abi? I think I shared a story with you guys in one of the classes about analyzing crime in America. Were you guys in that class? Yeah. I said if you analyze crime and you say that this crime is, maybe they had more black people that did crime. If you don't compare with that population, you might not appreciate that story. So you might pull from different databases. Now, in this case, what would I do? I'm going to drop. Yeah, you can improve your view by dropping this side so that you have only two. Did you see what I did? Just playing with display. You see? Look at this. Yes. When it's dark, the blue means this side and this side. If I activate this, the other view comes. Yeah, but I don't need that view right now. It also right view and make it there. So just play with the view. Now, in this case, when I want to activate SQL store, because I want to use it for something, I could use SQL. You see it here, SQL store dot customer. You might have www guy dot. Now, if you run this query, you see we are where? Invoicing. But if I allow it, it will go. This will still give us the outcome we're looking for. Okay, let's make it 1,000. I don't think it's the old one that is showing there. Let's make it 1,000. You notice? It's added more stuff to it. How do we use it? We call the database itself. Put a dot and call the table. Did you see two ways of calling? Particularly, this is more useful to you when you are trying to play with joining from databases. Hello? I like the class. Now everybody's sober. Okay. Huh? No, you can't recover. It's your lifetime. It's a lifetime. Okay. So now let's say we want to go with, again, you see, these are called operators. Greater than, less than. Yeah? They are called operators. You can as well use the equals to operator, but there is no, if we use this and then we run this, there's nothing with that. Abi? So I'm going to try and see if we can remember what that last one I saw was. Was it 1486? And see, yeah, you see the 1486, Romola. So you can play with these operators. I'm about to go there, but good question. SQL invoicing. Yeah, that's the active one. That's the active schema. However, because of this SQL store that I called on the query, I will still get the result I want. Does that make sense? But active schema is what? but I can call this guy to come and work for me. This supersedes this. Hello? Now, if I remove this SQL store now, just to check, to see if what we are saying makes any sense, and then we play run, I'm going to select it and just run only this one. It's still giving us from its catching memory. I'm going to come back to. So that's why I want to play it again. It shouldn't show anything. Yeah, that's it. It was showing from what they call like a catching memory. It's not showing anything. I picked up this and then ran that query. It won't give you any outcome. It won't give you any outcome. Does it make sense to you? This is active and there's no customer table in this. So it will give you what? It will just give you a zero affected row. It doesn't exist. Are you getting what I'm saying at all? Okay. Now, somebody asked a good question. He said, does this whole idea stop at just numbers? No, it doesn't. Now, but there's a nice thing I want to show to you. Let's first go here. I'm going to take this off for now, and then let's run this code. Now, and I'm going to bring this back where now. So now let's use where state. Let's use state instead of point. State. Now, when you are using dimensions, this you should remember this. We did this in Tableau too. When you're using dimensions in data, you always have to bring in the word apostrophes. It's a string. So I'm going to bring it. Sorry. You see, I open the apostrophe, open and close, and then I'm going to use MA. Huh? What are we using? This one. State. This. MA. Now, if I use MA, and then I run it here, you see, that was the last thing that comes out. But please remember, when you're using numbers, you don't use the apostrophes. You also use apostrophes with dates and with strings. Make sense? Only numbers that go without apostrophes. Okay. Okay. Let's go with another command called order. So I'm going to go back to point. So I'm just going to go back to point. So we're going to use the point. And then we're going to say where point, let's stick with this, is greater than 1,000. And then we're going to say order by. Before I go to order by, let me first see what the outcome would look like. Don't worry, it's not like you'll be checking what the outcome will look like for your own. It's just that I don't know this data. So, does that make sense? In your own, you already have a question you are trying to solve. So that's what shapes the way you go about. Does that make sense? I mean, in the real world, though. Hello. You smile a little, it's okay. This, my friend, has not smiled for 2 hours. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So did I offend you? I know I used to be offensive, but I'm sorry. No. Okay. Okay, thank you for smiling. Okay. She said, okay, I think I offended you. I'm sorry. Okay, just I like a bit of a quiet environment. I feel it's when it's rowdy, it also affects my thought process. Okay, so order by. What should we order it by? Let's order it by state. Is that okay? Yes. Is that okay? So I just say instead of giving us a random answer, let's go with what? Order by state. So let's go with order by state. Is that okay? Now let's run this. Did you notice anything? CACOILMATM. Alphabetically, yes. Okay. Any question? I need to be. Okay, what is the next thing that I haven't touched? Order by, what are we going for next? Okay, let's play with one more thing. We're going to select this from customer store where point is this. Let's add something to this. So I'm going to say let's select first name underscore name. Are you there? Yeah, let's also get last name. And then let's get point. Are you there? Then for the point, I want to, let's say if this point was something like age, and this data was gotten 5 years ago. So we want to be able to see what their age would look like right now. Does that make sense? Or this is, or let's say it's points in class, but they've all done, maybe we caught them doing expo. So we want to reduce their mark by 50-50. So we'll say point. So there's a new field now I'm bringing. It's called point minus 50. Did you see that? So we have first name. You want to pull this. You want to pull their last name. You want to pull the points they had, and then another field which is called points minus 50. There are, again, I'm just showing you that you can manipulate a field and create a new field. But that makes sense. You can manipulate a field and create a complete new field. Now, after this, I will show you how to give the new field a name.
Sorry, sir. You said earlier that you are writing many queries
What did you see? It's the same query. It's the same query from here to here is one query.
Okay, the same query.
Yeah, you see, I'm selecting this row, this row, this row, and then a new field. Sorry, not row, field, column. And this field, which is point minus 50, yeah, from that data, from that table in the database, where point is greater than what? 1,000. So the first thing it's going to do is to pick this field, to pick this field, to pick this field, to calculate this field and pick it also. And then to come and check this from table and check for the one that has points above 1,000, and then it will order them by state. One is just a compound statement. So what we're just going to achieve eventually as the day goes in is compounded statements. A bit more complex, trying to get, you're trying to like hone into a particular, you understand? Does that make sense? Okay, I want to find out students who had first class, who were from the science department and were from Abuja, particularly from Gariki, because I want to do scholarship. Does that make sense now? You are drilling to get somewhere. Okay, please sir, ask.
What we are doing now, is it what we normally call coding? Or is it different?
SQL is still coding, but this is not that kind of coding you are thinking about. This is a data analyst coding. Because don't forget, what is your work? There are three things that is your work really. Three things. One, pulling data from data sources. Now, if you are going to work largely on what they call the ETL, which is extraction, transfer, and loading, you're going to be more of pulling data, loading it to somewhere, pulling data, and you're going to be heavy on SQL. Heavy on SQL. Yeah. Now, and even if you're not into extracting, transfer, loading, you might be creating what they call views. So you just pull from different sources because, let me say you're working for Bay University, and Bay contracts me, I'm an outsider. base will not give me a direct access. Like on this project, that you might see lower there, it's a washing project. I don't work for UNICEF. You understand? But for me to analyze that thing for them, they have to only give me a view. So when I connect to that place, I'm not seeing what they have on their end. I'm only seeing a view of, you understand me, of what they want me to see. Yeah. So the whole idea is creating views. So for people that are just specialized in creating views and throwing it out, then you now pick it up, analyze, prepare a dashboard, and send it for them for management decisions and all that. So some people create views, then some people might just end their whole careers just visualizing. Yeah. So it depends on where you will finally, but again, if you are going to get your first opportunity, it's always good to have a broad range of skills. Because sometimes you might do all, like you create view, you transfer, you load, you visualize, you analyze, because it's a smaller company and they want one person. Does that make sense? Okay. Your face is as if I poured bad water on you. It depends on the company. Okay. Did you notice anything about this place? Please look at the view. Please look at the view, everyone. That's fine. Look at the view. See if there is anything you notice. A new field, Abby? See it here, point minus 50. And you can see it's really minus 50. So it shows you that you can actually manipulate a field and generate a new field. These things happen. I gave you an idea. You are analyzing a data that maybe they took at the time when they did it, they didn't take birthdays. What they took was age, and it was done 5 years ago. So when you bring it to your own self now, you have to now add 5 years and say age 5 years ago and age now.
So that's the area of the update.
In this case, you're not really updating the database. You're only updating the view that you have. You see, at this point, nothing is going to the back end. Your back end remains exactly the way it is. You are managing the view you want to analyze. Yeah. It doesn't send, this does not update. We're still in read. Well, I said there are 4 basic things we'll go through: crude, create, read, update, delete. Now, in the read is everything select. It's like you're just reading a book. You cannot, even if you carry your pen and cross and add and the one they're going to sell to the next person is going to be the same thing they sold to you. Yeah, so you can't update. It's only when you use the update statement that you're trying to access the database and really talk to it directly. Yeah, so you're still on read. Please go ahead.
You said our work on SQL to pull data models from different sources.
Yeah. Yeah. Create data and pull data. And when I say pull data, there are three things you do. That you get into the ETL: extract, transform, load. Yeah, so you transform it from one way to another way, and then you load it somewhere else. Does that make sense? Good. Now, the next thing I said is that you might also be there to just create views, like pull things and create a view for people to use and analyze. And then the last one I said is you do the analysis and create the visualization. All right, should we go ahead?
This last one, in don't order of states.
What is the last one, sir?
We gave a description to order by states. We didn't bring up the states.
No.
Why you not bring out the state, my friends? It's a good question. Check what you asked it to bring out. First name, last name, voice. So even if you order the state is silent, you can't see it. You know why? because it is not showing it here. If you want to see it now, just go back to that place, add a comma and put, and then run it. So you see, all the while it had ordered the state, but you couldn't see it.
Even though state is at the last
Even when state is at the last point, you see, it must follow all the instructions down before it generates this view. Are we together? Yes. Now, you see, if I leave this thing, my friends, as point minus 50, I will not really be a very good child. So you might want to give it a name of its own, because this name sounds ridiculous. Abi? So let's give it a name of its own. And that's where another command comes called the ask command. Ask command. Now, if you're going to work with, this is my SQL. If you want to work with SQL Server or Oracle, their variant of MySQL is slightly different. So something you say here, you might run it there and you might have an error. So you might need to find out a bit of the difference, but a lot of things will work. A lot, the basic ones will work. It's just a few here and there. If we have time, I might just show you like 4 or 5 differences in SQL in the last class. Let's try and cover one first. Master one before you go to the other one. So you've got point, and I will use as. So I'm saying this particular field, represent it as, who should we use? Let's use our president's name. Well, I'm naming a road after you, don't worry. So we're going to represent this as a road for our president. Is that okay? So run this. Does it make sense? The truth is, you can even name even this point as something else. You can name anything as anything. Perhaps you don't really like the names that were given in the view, in the system. You want to customize the names to fit what you want. You can use the ask function. Are we together? If there's even a small smile on your face, that have continued faster. What happened at home? That thing is a lie. Nigerians are the fattest people I know in this world now. But you just pass by, they tell you hunger. Then which of the hunger is it again? So I don't believe them again. Okay. Are we okay? Should we go? Yes. Should we go? Yes. What next should we look at? Let's look at let's tweak something. I'll just copy this, then I'll take this off. I want to see if we can manipulate something first. So I'm going back to the beginning. Let's see if we can manipulate something. I want to change this guy. This space. Let me see if I can change him to, this is just the view. Friends, it is just to use for explanation. We don't go and start changing people at the database. Actually, if you are on read, you can't change people's database like that. They're just reading, but I'm just doing this for, for explanation's sake. So I've changed this one to fit now. Now, see what I want. have less than operator. We have greater or equals to. We have less than or equals to. We have not equals to. Did you see that? Looks a bit funny, but you see, these two mean the same thing. So that these two means not equals to. Okay, exclamation mark. That's long dot. And then the last one there is what? Equals to. These are all operators. You've seen me use operators here already. So you can use any of these operators. Okay. Did you get that? Should I do something else?
Like this last one, from that where your also is, you didn't put the asterisk. It doesn't matter. Let's select an asterisk face name.
Asterisk is when I want to pull all the fields off. But when I want to pull a particular field, you now choose the particular field you want to take. So it's either you use particular field or you go with all. Is that okay? For the sake of practice, I would send you a richer database to use. This is just very small. This is very small. Now, how many things do we have here? It's like 10.
Let's say, for example,
Yeah. I don't want to go into that until last class, when we have done what we are supposed to do first. Then let me cover what I need to cover first before I start covering what I don't need to cover. Do you understand? There is let me just see.
Sorry, sir, which operators?
I'll do it on an online class so that everybody can see it. Yeah.
The operator that you say they are saying.
The last two.
Exclamation with equals to.
Exclamation with equals to, and this
Equals to.
and this one. No. These two are the same. They all mean not equals to.
The new one.
Not equals to. Okay, I'm wiping this off. You remember this order by state guy? I'm going to let this point guy, I'm just going to use okay. All right, let's do something else. An or operator. And an or operator, yeah?
Does this one stand on its own, or you have to use it together with Tableau or Power BI?
This is a job of its own. And people are doing SQL every day of their life.
Okay, they give you data, you can also use this and achieve what you want.
Yeah, there's a lot to, you can actually analyze a full data with SQL. A full data. No, you won't be alive. You can't build. You're just building like table stuff. Like for instance, I want to see how much are we earning from all students from Benue. That's easy now. It's just the sum fees where student is equals to Benue, Abi. So there are simple things you can do.
Is it also applicable to
Okay, thank you.
sir? I think it also the same this is used in the supermarket. Sometimes advice
No, that's basic. That's basic calculator now. That's basic calculator.
I think they use that means.
No, they use, but not in the way you're talking about. This is data heavy. SQL is data heavy. Like if you are working for big organizations, use it to just reduce the volume of data they have. You've heard about what they call big data, Abi? The volume by which banks create data, the variety, there are 5 V's: velocity, volume, variety. That's what you call big data. Let's use banks. All of us know banks. All of us use banks. You see, if you want to really analyze a bank transaction, it's a lot for a day. Imagine how many transactions happen from a bank every day. When you walk into a bank, let's say 20,000 people are changing address. 7 million transactions. Of the 7 million, 5 of them is withdrawals. 2 million. So you see, there are different things going on in the bank. There are times when they want to like drill into just a few areas. Maybe they notice something. And if you ask someone like with Power BI or Tableau to go in there and do that same work for you, it means that you're giving them access to everything. And you don't want to give people access to everything. You want to be able to sieve a particular view of your data and give someone to go and analyze and build dashboards for you. The Power BIs and the Tableaus or BI tools are really at the last end of analysis. They are at the last end. SQL is at that point where it can talk to a lot of systems, pull the data you want, and then share with you to now go and analyze, and then bring in the more sweet stuff. But there is really, you can do a full analysis. It might not be with graphs. No, it might not be. It will not be with graphs with SQL. A full analysis, yeah. It will be texty. It will be like a table form, but it will still give you what you want. Okay, let's look at the AND or operator first. So we're going to say where point is greater than this, and point is equals to what? 457. You see, this condition will not be dry up. Does it make sense? Does it make sense? No. I'm going, just follow me again. We want to pull, this is the data set that we had before now. Of this data set, if we say where point is greater than 1,000, you see this guy that has point of 457, and this guy, we won't see them again. But we now set and point equals to what? It will bring this guy back, but will not bring this guy back. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So we have isolated all less than 1,000 for brought back 4,000.
Yes. So this is where you might want to use the AND operator. Did you run? It runs, but it's not working. Yeah, where point is this and point is that. Okay. Who can see the error? Huh? The point is not in plural. Did you see it? See. So that feels, so we have to go and call it correctly.
select.
You select all.
You select.
Now, you know, it was the point. It was the point. Why? Why no?
And when particular the statement is correct, it has to just be straightforward. They are having greater than and at the same time equals to 457. So it cannot run each of them simultaneously.
Do we agree with him?
No.
Oh, yeah.
No, we are looking at two different points.
Again, don't forget I said, hold on, sorry, sir. Before I let him continue, remember I said something that SQL will take your logical thinking. So you give it some thought, then tell me why we're having a no. Go back, sir.
Okay, my thought is that we are looking at two different points. The points at 1,000 and that which is 457. So it should be point, not point.
It should be point, not points.
No, points should be. That's X should be.
This is the point. Now you see the AND operator quieter.
If the first condition is not right,
So the first condition is not right. That's what you're saying. Huh? If it is not right, let us see. Now let's remove this condition and see if the first condition is not right. You're going somewhere, but you have missed something you're saying. Your thought is correct, but the way you are presenting it is wrong. So it is now giving us the outcome. So it means that the first condition is right. I'm putting it back.
We have to run the conditions first. If it comes to condition, if the second condition is not.
I can see his thought, but he's not presenting it very well. Who can help him?
The reason why the result is not was the place where the person was placed before he was executed.
No. No.
It was at that point.
No, if it's that one, I will place it right. Oh, yeah, let's go. Remember this math we used to have 1 times 1. Okay, what I'm trying to say is true plus true, true plus false, false plus times true, then false times. I'm trying to clean it, not doing it. It depends on how this thing is thinking. Okay, well, you understand what I'm trying to say? You understand what this thing is about? Yes. Now let's take that same thing, this same thing now, back to that question. So we say point has to be what? Greater than what? 1,000. So let's say this is satisfied true. And point also must be equal to what? You see, the minute you pick this went true. This has been falsified. This cannot again come true. So it's now true times 4. This one has sieved already. Hello?
Everything less than 1,000.
This has sieved it already. Then when you now bring the AND, you can't even see where to put this guy because because of this, it nullifies this one. Does it make sense? Does it make sense? Oh yeah, let's go back. Let's go and try using the AND again. So let's use the AND for something else. Let's use OR and see where OR takes us. So guys, this is a new function is called the OR function. Let's see where OR takes us. You see, OR gives you an alternative. This one or this one. The other one, it drills it first, then drills the second. So with the OR, see where it takes us. First, it did this one. But they still say there is a margin of error. You can still accommodate this guy. So he pulls him in. So that's the guy. Hello. Now, in this case, we use and or using points. You can use it using different things. Let's try another one. Let's say, well, in this case, let's use state. State is equals to sorry. We should use state as what? Florida. And point is greater than 500. You see, I'm using two different fields now. Make sense? Why is this null? Doesn't mean that all ands are always null, so that you don't feel that all ands are null. But why is this null? That's correct. You understand what that means? So let's do something. You remember that thing we said? Not equals to. Huh? Are we together? Are you guys still with me? Don't get confused. It's easy. So now we're saying when state is not equals to Florida and point is greater than 0. Now, if you look at the point, everything there is greater than 0. But it does not allow anything from Florida to come in. Let's target something else. Let's target this guy. This guy. Let's target him. We're going to change this to MA. So let's take out Massa. I hope you see where Massa was before. 2233. Yeah? So we're going to see if this will take it out. We're saying give us where state is not equals to MA and point is greater than 500. Did you see MA is no longer here? It must satisfy these two conditions to pull this off. What have we looked at today? Select, where, order, and all, and as. 6. Should we go? Should we continue? Huh?
Yes.
Some don't look sure, some look. We should continue. Okay. Now, let's try something else. What should we expect here now? We're talking about a new function called the not function. You see, when you will have to be using these things, you have to think about what will work for you. Yeah? My work is to introduce you to all the functions. Your own is to think through what will work for your own. So though you set the exam for them to think. So when you are setting assessment, you set for them to think. So the assessment will be like this. They will give you a question and you write the code. It's complicated code though. Yes, this course. Not another one. Hey, it's easy. Even by today, you can do a lot today. Yeah, already we're going. We're going. Exam is 1 month from now to calm down. Just stay with us so that you will finish the write the exam with it. It's easy. It's open book. It's open book. Okay, back to class. It's open book. It's the cheapest exam you can write. Open book. Yes, there will be exam. And it's open book. You have textbook. You have everything. Now, I can give you guys simple expo. I can give you expo now to pass your exam, but I will not give you. You will cheat. You guys will choose. All right, have a look at this. But whatever you pass through AI, you see, let's also be careful what pass through AI. You see, when you open your AI account, I hope you guys know that they ask you to submit your email. You know that, Abi? Every time you want to use an AI tool, do you know that you might log in? Yes. All AI tools you use, for you to use them, you have to log in. Are you not aware?
Yes.
They're tracking you.
Yes.
Yes. They're tracking you. Yes. Huh? See, your digital footprint is strong. It's stronger than you think. If you like, change email for the next 5 years. Somebody wants to track you, he will get you. It's easy. You are leaving a trail every day and you don't know. You are leaving a trail every day without knowing. So be careful what you do. Particularly if you work for the government. Don't work for the government. Be careful. Don't ask it to write letters for you. All those things you are doing. Be careful how you are submitting it to those stuff. Because over time they can connect that the fact that you work for the government and that the kind of things you've been doing, and they can connect it straight to the government back. Yeah, that's why the 5G technology and the whole thing, the reason why you see America and China fighting is who will control that domain. The man that will end controlling that domain is going to be the bigger boy in the next 10 years. Yes. So the AI revolution is the real big deal. The guy that owns that domain in the next 10 years will be the world power. It's not. If you see the rush, everybody's trying to enter this space. That's the reason. It's money. Money and control. So be careful as you are using and enjoying it. Use as a way of if you want to use an AI tool, you must bounce what you're writing in different ways that nobody can explain where you're coming from, where you're going to. Huh? They will run, but they will be like this guy in a madman because you are writing things in a way that nobody can pick up anything about you. There should be no trail about you. Don't be like you're scattering this thing, you're scattering it here. That one is gone, but your future is at stake. So avoid future use. Because the whole idea, why is it that most of them are, sorry, this is not for the class. Why are most of them are open source? Have you not thought about it? They have a lot of open source availability. It should be closed now. So they have about 70% open source, and then 30% is closed for, you have to pay for it. Why? So that they can collect from the whole world. So be careful as you consume some of these things. They are sweet to use, but particularly if you have ambitions to grow higher in life, be careful what you are submitting. All right, I do, but I use them in a different way. Yes. Yeah. All right. Back to work. All right. Let's run this code. All right. Stay with me. You see, what was the question here, my friend? The first question said, pick out first name, pick out what? Last name, pick out point, pick out point as scalable, and then pick out state. First issue done, no problem. From yes, okay. Where not? equals to MA. State should not be equals to MA. Now, did you notice anything here that MA found its way here?
Yes, let me give back.
You know that thing we said, false times false equals to what? True. You remember that in a minus times minus equals to what? There is a minus here. There is a minus here, which makes MA true.
But for MA that are greater than 500.
Now, but it has to be for MAs that are greater than 500. But you see these two, greater than 500, there is a not sign for it. So, that will work, but this will, you notice that this also work. 405, 205. So this and this became, this and this can work. This can, the knot crosses this and crosses this. Turns it around. Are we together?
Yes.
Doesn't make sense yet. Let's start again. Okay, let's start from the first one. I'm going to use the pen now. State is not equal to MA. Abi? So I'll leave the knot. Huh? I'll leave the knot. You have a pen. You have a pen. A marker.
What did you change from MA to MA?
It was just, it's MA because we're trying to deal with Massachusetts. You have a marker here. Thank you. Let me move the database and show you what I'm saying. So I'm going to keep this at the back of the line. So we have Ambu, we have Thatcher, we have Barbara, we have Tinubu as 407, we have 155, and we have 223. Okay, let's leave that now. Let's come. I'm going to remove the knot and we'll do this again. I'll do this and then we'll do it again. I'm going to remove the knot. Go. All right, let's go. Now, when we remove the knot, what do we have? I'm going to write them down. Romola, Freddy, Levin, Elka, and Eileen, sorry. Let's pick them all too. Or you have Eileen, you have Clemens, you have Innis. Abi? That's all, Abi. 31. Okay. Just I want to be sure we got all. Ramola, yes. Okay. Now I'm going to take all of these away. Don't worry, don't be confused. I'm going to explain every details. Just mark the things that we've done from the beginning. So I want to pull everything. Now, if you look at the first one, what do we have, Barbara? What else do you have? The Innis. What is Innis? Innis. On the next one, ready? On the next one. Okay, that was Ambu. Fleming. Next. Don't worry, don't be confused. Everything is easy. What's the next? What is this called? Elka, wait, okay, Elka. Have you seen Tata? Eileen. What is Eileen? Eileen. Romola. What is Romola? Levi. Good. What did you notice? Don't be confused. Just stay back. I'm pasting again. Now, see. I'm going to do it one more time. What we've done here now, don't be confused. Just relax. What we've done here now is the full database. Abi? How many names do you have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10, Abi? Now, we now said where state is not equal to Massachusetts, and point greater than 0. So let's see that one first. When we did this, we now have this list, Romola. And look at Romola, it's a state. Massa? No, it's not Massa. Look at the states first. Look at all the states. Look at those ones. Did you see any Massa there? No Massa. Is the point greater than 500? Check all of them. Did you see the point? All of them were greater than 500. You notice that? Yes. Good. Now, everything that did not come out here, if I put a not to this command, those things will come out. It means Okay, thanks, man. Ashe? You see, we just spent some time looking at the and or. So if you want to say where state equals to California or state equals to Connecticut, you can be using all this and. But you see, that can be a wild goose chase, just earning and be going, or owing and be going. So how about if we look for a simple way to earn or owe? Does that make sense? So let's look for this very simple way of earning and owing. So I'm going to just do this. We use the in, and we're going to say where state is, I open braces, California, Illinois. So I'm saying as far as state is involved in any of these two, we're fine. Make sense? So the in operator, let's run it. Outcome. Are we together? Yes. This will relieve you a lot of earning and owing. In. Just normal in-house, outside, in. All right. They say we don't have time again. Again, just like you have in, you can actually also negate the in. You know how we negate things, Abi? Not. So we can put a not here. So let's say we put a not here. Sorry, not no, but not. And then you run that. So you see, everything except those ones in California and Illinois are going to be out here. Are we together? All right, and together we have no more time to continue. I'll see you guys on Saturday. We're going to be online, guys. Except if you wanted to do that, there are so many operators, so many of them. One just needs to know how to I will send you the notes that I prepared for this. I haven't had a very good note preparer, but I used to try. But I talk better than I prepare notes. Yeah, so I don't know if those of you that got it.